I lost my train of thought there.
That's okay. That's the story of my life, honestly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kayla, and welcome back to Kay's Hidden Shelf, where we talk about books. Today, I am joined by the lovely Tori Talks. Welcome, Tori. Thank you for joining in the madness that's to come.
I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie, but I
Mm.
really appreciate you asking me to do a collab because I love chatting about books with other people. So,
Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate
yeah,
it.
no
It's
problem.
these kind of things are so much more fun with a friend,
Agreed.
and it's one of those things that I've been wanting to do for a while. And so for all of you watching, today we are going to be reacting to book covers. I know the saying says do not judge a book by its cover, but let's be
We all
honest,
do
I
it.
think majority of us do it. We see a
Definitely.
cover and we're like, "Ooh, yes," or
Mm.
we judge. Absolutely.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
So today we have a list of book covers that we're going to go through. Some of them are the same book with multiple different covers over their years. And we're just going to react to these book covers as though we're book shopping and what we would think of them if we came across them in a store or out in the world, in the wild. And apart from that, shenanigans will probably ensue. Uh,
Oh,
who knows? But to kick us off, I do want to ask you a question, Tori.
oh boy. Okay.
You ready?
You're going to get me in trouble, aren't you?
Never. No. So, when it comes to book covers, what kind of book cover, what kind of art style usually catches your eye first?
Oh boy. I mean, when it comes to book covers in general, I think this happens a lot in fantasy for me. I do like simple covers sometimes. I mean, it's right behind me so I can use it as an
Yeah.
example. There we go. I have my black edition of Shogun behind me and also
Mhm.
my Red Rising Howler edition. Both of those they're very very simple, but I
Mhm.
love the strong silhouette on a cover.
Yes.
I love that. I've always loved that. I also really love the silhouette with an image inside of it.
Oh, yes.
I
Yes, I know
love that.
exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm not a collector, so I feel like I have less of a specific this is what a cover needs to look like for me to enjoy it because I
Okay.
don't I do enjoy special editions and I do enjoy pretty books, but like sometimes when I see other people that are collectors, I feel like they're a lot more specific about what they like. So,
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair.
yeah. I
Yeah.
like a bold contrast too in the
Yes.
cover. You
Yeah,
do.
I would say I'm very similar. I do like the silhouettes. I do find
Mhm.
simplicity is best. However, there are some simple design covers that are a little too plain for me, if you know what I mean.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
but there are others that are very clever, and I think there's one in here that you sent me that we're going to look at today that I'm going to share more specific thoughts on. It's stunning, it's eye catching, but for the life of me, I can't remember the cover name, like the book name. I have no idea what it says.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
and I think that speaks to how important covers are because a lot of
yeah.
people have a hard time remembering author names or book titles or that kind of thing, but they might remember what that cover looked like if it was really striking. And so, like as an author, you always have to be thinking this is your first selling point.
Yeah.
So people are going to judge the book by its cover, so make sure that it's a good one, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the poor retail workers who are working in the bookstore where you go in, you're like, "It's this book with this picture." I don't know the name, I don't know the
And they're
author.
like, okay.
Search
And
for
then
the
there's
author.
that one retail worker that has all of them memorized and knows exactly what you're talking about. And it's
Yes.
like borderline eerie.
They've been there a while.
Mhm. They've been there a while. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, with that, let's get started with the book covers. And our first cover is actually going to be for a very popular book, and I
Ooh.
could not resist. So we're gonna
Okay. We're going to
start.
go there. All
We're
right.
gonna, yeah,
We're going to go there.
we're gonna go there. So, Assassin's Apprentice, Robin Hobb, book one in the trilogy, the Farseer trilogy.
So I have to take all of my I've read these books out of my brain and throw it out for a while.
Absolutely.
So I know that this one is a little bit more of a classic cover style.
Hmm.
I would probably, I'm trying to be nice about it. I would pass this up personally.
Yep.
And I say that loving the Farseer trilogy, so all of the Hob fans in the comments don't come after me. But I don't like how split up everything is. I want a more cohesive cover. Everything feels like it's choppy and in bits and pieces, and it's a little bit
Mm.
forgettable. Like nothing
Yeah.
about this cover goes, you know?
I say the only thing that jumps out to me is the title, right?
Yeah.
Like that's probably the one
Yes.
thing I'll remember seeing this, but very similar to
Which is,
you. Yeah.
you know,
That's something when I go to see the lady at the store.
right?
Yeah, I agree with you. This one to me is a little too detached in its style, and I
Mhm.
probably would pass this up if I were just browsing and I had no idea what it was. It wouldn't necessarily catch my. I would put this in the category of, when you go to those libraries and they have the old used books, and it's no matter what era this is released in, that is just what my brain would associate it with, is just finding a
Mhm.
used
Yep.
cop of it in the library,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
has its
And like
own charm.
the paperback, used paperback shelves at a,
Yes.
yep.
And, like,
Well, and I think,
fraying on the edges.
right. I also think one of the things about gray as a
Mm,
cover color, you have to be really careful with it. You have to give it something, and they kind of did with the yellow in the title, but
yeah.
gray kind of washes everything out when it's not used correctly in the color scheme. And I feel like this unfortunately does kind of do that to the pieces that it's trying to feature.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
yeah.
I'm glad you called it gray because I thought it was purple, like a purplish gray.
This is going to be
So
one of those things on the internet where everybody's arguing in the comments about what color it is. I do like
I'm just wrong.
the detailing in the gray. I do like that it
Yeah.
has that kind of old stonework feel to it. That is cool. I like that
It is nice. I think it gets lost in, everything else,
too.
so,
Yeah.
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 So
Also,
let's
that guy up on the top right, I don't
is that
know.
Fitz?
Like that facial expression. I
You know.
don't know if I trust him.
Everyone's questionable at this point when you're looking at the
Everyone's
cover.
questionable.
All right, well, let's go through the ages because I have this book's covers. I've got two more versions of
Oh
them.
boy. Oh boy.
This one I have opinions on, and it was an entire era, and it is this bad
So
boy.
everybody has opinions on this cover.
It was a style choice for a good, like, 6 years.
It's Frodo with a deer behind him.
And it's not even, like, the nice kind of photography, it just looks like he's plastered on there. Like someone cut him
Yeah.
out of a picture and just put him there in a poor
And then
Photoshop job?
photoshopped hair over him that wasn't
Yeah,
his hair. And yeah, it's it's a it's a choice.
yeah.
This is the version I read when I had
Okay.
my Assassin's Apprentice books. And like it never really bothered me, but I never really paid attention to it either.
Right, okay.
But yeah,
So,
the photoshopping job on this one is not great.
no. See,
I do like the text
yeah.
style.
I mean, my pet peeve with the text is now I can't read Assassins.
Point, yeah.
I don't
I was
like that.
looking at her name, so that's
That's
the part
true.
I
Yeah.
like.
Kinda like Sanderson, name comes first, biggest.
Mhm.
Yeah. See, I actually avoided this one. For
Mm,
years, I hated this copy of it, and I ended up
mhm.
getting the original covers, one of the original covers with the Magus and Fitz standing next to him,
Oh, sure, sure.
that
Yeah.
one. It's not in this video, but, yeah, I actually held out for a used copy of that one because I despise this one so much.
That I feel like that's fair. I mean, I will say you see that her name has gotten bigger in this next
Yeah,
iteration,
true.
which shows that she's growing in success after the
Yeah,
older version, which is cool.
that is nice
But
to see. Okay,
they're
so we've got
grasping.
one more version of this
Okay.
one, and I think this one will go a little bit better. I think this is a style many people have been preferring as of late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe I have more opinions on covers than I thought. I don't dislike this. I will before. I don't. This is my favorite of the three, definitely.
Agreed.
Um, I like the banners in
Hmm.
this a lot. I think that's very cool. It has that kind of medieval style fantasy feel to it immediately, which is impressive, despite the fact that it doesn't actually have a picture on it,
Yeah.
um, like a bigger
Yep.
cover picture.
And it's
So
got more
I
like
think
a
that's
family
cool.
crest.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. It did make me chuckle to see fantasy as it ought to be written by George R. R. Martin. Got to get that in there.
Yep.
The font for Apprentice is, for me, very overwhelming visually.
Oh, interesting. It's
Yeah,
very
I have a hard time with
stylistic.
fonts. It is,
Okay.
which is fine. Um,
See, I think it was a smart choice based on the setting,
for
right?
sure. Yep.
But I agree. I can see how that can be really distracting.
I never noticed the A had a dagger through it. That's cool.
There you go. See, look, and there's things. There's a skull in between the other one. You know.
Oh, yep. Okay,
Yep. The
yep.
more you
I
look,
thought that's what it was.
there's also
Little
blood
things.
smears.
I did notice it was we're getting a
Yeah.
little oh my goodness. Now all of the Abercrombie fans are going to be like, "You said it wrong again."
How dare you?
Abercrombie vibes, but less bloody.
Less bloody. Yeah.
Yeah, not quite as we're more subtle with the blood because we're assassins, not barbarians, you know.
Personally, I'm okay with this style. I do think out of the three
Yeah.
we've looked at, it's one of the better ones. I do think they did a smart choice in terms of like the medieval style calligraphy.
Definitely.
I
Yep,
think that it was a
definitely.
good choice along with the artwork. And the more you look at it, the more you see, even though it is quite simple.
Love that.
So I mean, I would be more willing to pick this copy up versus the one that we saw before.
Oh, 100%. I would pick this one
Yeah.
over the other two, definitely.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next one, and this one, I based on our conversation earlier, I think you're gonna like this one, maybe?
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh. Yep. Well, yep, okay.
Total style change.
Total style change. I love, so black is my favorite color, and I love the contrast of, I also like the contrast of something a little bit like dark or
Mm,
harsh versus something softer and more not fragile but
yeah.
lighter. So I love that combination in the color scheme. The gradient is really
Mhm.
cool. I love the character stylization and the fact that she's looking straight at the viewer. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Love that. Also, the blood from the teacup. It immediately evokes the inside of the book, which I think, which I haven't read this, so I would assume. Um,
Yeah,
but it gives me a whole story idea of what I'm in for very quickly.
and I love that they included the city in the
Mm-hmm.
bottom part of the
Mm-hmm.
character as well. And then they have like the steam from that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say a cup of tea, but it is blood.
Cup of blood, as you do.
Yeah, a cup of steaming blood. Just
Delicious.
the way that it curves around the head of the character and back off the side. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is a cover I really like, and I actually almost bought this.
I
Um,
was going to say, I would heavily consider buying the book off of a cover like this.
Same, same.
Definitely.
Yeah, the only thing that held me back is I wanted to do more research because I did read that it does have a bit of the romance tropes in it.
Mm.
So for me, I want to do more research before I just outright buy something for the cover.
Well, and
So,
as I'm looking at this, what I would expect from a book with a cover like this is obviously there's some kind of a mystery thriller aspect
mhm,
to it with the blood. There might be a little bit of maybe a detective
yeah,
story involved. It's going to be more urban based on her
yes.
clothing and the city in it, but it looks like it's not. I'm trying to see if there's like a distinctive setting, European, obviously, but like
Mm.
specifically, I'm not sure. But the softer pastel colors in her gradient, I could see that suggesting maybe a romantic subplot in there as well.
Interesting that it's the color that led that to you, because
Mhm.
I was completely dumbfounded. I no, I was not smart enough to figure that out.
I feel like, I mean, I think in color a lot, and I
Mm.
have a marketing background with like, so knowing
Oh,
what different
okay.
colors mean
Yeah.
in marketing and logos and all that kind of stuff. So that immediately, not that I would have immediately been like, oh, this is about
Right.
romance. But when you said, oh, there's a romantic subplot, I was like, yeah, I can see that with the
Yeah.
cover.
So yeah, this one I really like this one too. I love the style
Yeah, I do
choice.
like this one. That
And
silhouette with the picture inside,
yep.
so
Yeah.
good.
So the next one we have is another set of trio. So we have one book, three different covers, and
Okay.
the cover designs are over the course of about a year and a half to 2 years.
Oh, so not very long. Okay.
Not very long. And that is Blood Over Bright
Mm.
Haven by M.L. Wong. This is the original from when it was self-published. Now,
Hmm.
see, I love this. I actually really love this one. I love the
Yeah.
character. I like we were talking about with the last one. I love that she's looking right at you. She's got her
Yep.
hand out. It's could be ominous. I don't know. Is she like reaching out for a different reason? She's got a book. Is she
Mhm.
casting a spell? But the colors in the window behind her, I think,
Yeah.
is where it gets lost
Oh, okay.
for me because it's not. Maybe if she had more of a glow around her,
Sure. Yeah.
maybe, but
Softening. Yeah.
I do love the choice of the window, but it's a bit busy for me. It distracts from
Okay.
her, if that makes sense. But I love the
It,
green and the white and the pink.
yeah, the color scheme is I like a lot. It's really funny that you say that because I have the exact opposite reaction to it.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't feel connected to the character in any way, but the window with the colors behind it really pulls my eye right away and makes me go, "Ooh, that's really
Interesting.
intricate and interesting." I think her like the style of clothing on the
Mhm.
character evokes, and with the book, I'm getting like a scholarly kind of vibe from that right away. Um, I like. I'm very specific about character facial expressions in artwork.
Uh, and this is
I
very, like,
It's very
flat.
flat. I don't like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that. I love
that's fair.
the color scheme overall, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, see, a flat facial expression to me is either it can be uninteresting, but with her hand up like that, to me, it could also be something
Mm,
ominous,
sure.
right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Right?
Mhm.
'Cause, people who have ill intent are often, like, pretty
Right.
flat-faced.
Masked. Yep.
So, for context, again, this is the indie publication, and then it was picked
Mhm.
up by a traditional publisher, and this is what they went with.
Mhm.
That's the one.
How do you feel about this cover, Kayla?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not a huge fan of mostly text on a cover.
Mm, mhm.
Even with I know there's imagery there with I'm assuming a form of typewriter, and then you have the fire, and
Yep.
it's in a sphere, and it's or maybe a globe or a crystal ball, I don't know.
Yep.
But it is all I see is mostly text in my brain with
Mhm.
some line art, and if I were in a store, I would pass this without if I didn't know what it was.
I think part of that for me is that compositionally, my eye isn't being drawn towards anything. It just kind of feels like it's all jumbled together. And there's some cool elements, like, the typewriter
Mhm.
kind of encapsulating the element of fire, which almost to me gives it like a technology versus magic kind of
Right.
vibe,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
like. You've got the kind of astrology um, motif up at the top. So I like the elements of it,
Right.
but my eye is very confused by this cover about what I'm looking at and where to go.
Yeah, like, all
Yeah.
the lines for me are distracting. Those background red lines,
Mhm.
very distracting, I
And it's
find.
not immediately easy to read the title either.
No. No, like, my brain would just bypass this if it were in a store.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we have, this is a traditional published cover. Now we have the special edition from none other than The Broken Binding.
Mhm.
So with the last 2 covers in mind, we do have a bit of a silhouette here,
Yeah.
perched on a rock encased in flames, basically, and,
Mhm.
some kind of glass I wanna say, like,
A
glass
dome?
village? I don't it's a
Yeah.
dome, but there's, like, buildings. on the other. I don't know if it's like within a city.
I do like how this kind of marries the previous two concepts
Mm,
in a way, because you've got my favorite part of the previous cover was that flame in the circle. I thought because it's drawn in a very interesting, intricate way, and so
yeah,
I like that we're getting the flame as a focal point in this as well, and then we're also getting that really cool, intricate architecture from the
yeah,
first cover.
yeah.
I wish the character was a little bit more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Clear or easy to see,
Predominant.
because I
Yeah,
don't really know what I'm looking at in terms of the character. It's just a bunch of cloth.
yeah,
Color wise, I love this cover. I really do. I love the cut. Like this is using like a gray toward blue color scheme with a really cool contrast in a way that
yeah.
pops everything. I like that.
Yeah, I would say this is probably my personal favorite out of the three. I really do like the first one, but I think you're right. This brings us together really nicely. I do have a problem though with the title. The font
Mm,
blends in way like Bright Haven in particular blends in
sure.
too much with the background. Blood Over is fine, but
Yeah.
the bottom ones are, and even Emma Wong. Like I might not catch the name in the title as well, but the artwork is stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so it's amazing to see how quickly cover art can change. Like this was over the course of like two
Yeah.
years, maybe
Yeah.
less.
And I do like that the village in the background, it kind of gives the illusion of stained glass without actually being stained glass, which I think is very cool. More subtle
Yeah.
effect.
Oh, true, true. So the next one I have is a book that you love. And I
Oh
wanted to
boy.
talk about
Oh
it
boy.
because I have not read it. And I feel
Okay.
like we're going to have two potentially different opinions. But
Okay.
that is By Blood, by
I
Salt.
knew that was going to be the one you were bringing up. Okay.
Yeah, by J.L. Autumn. So do you want to go
Hmm.
first or do you want me to go first?
Either or. You have not read it, so feel free to
Sure.
give a completely un. Uh, wow, my
Biased?
brain just lost. Thank you. That. My brain was like, you don't know any words.
No, no. You know what? We're in the same boat. We're good.
Between the two of us.
We'll get there eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess for myself, I do like the art. I do think
Mm,
the composition is really nice where we have a character. I don't know if it's a main character in the foreground with some kind of imposing army or something coming along in the distance. The
mhm,
environment gives me an idea of what the world will look like.
mhm.
Apart from that, though, my brain immediately goes, "This is cool." Now, it's an internal battle. Is this a scene from the book? Is this portraying the vibe of the book? Because those are two very different things
Mhm.
when you're talking cover art. And I do like that I can see the font very, very clearly. Brilliant.
Mhm.
But to me, this is the kind of artwork that I would put as a poster on my wall,
Mm, mhm.
right? Right?
Mhm.
It does work to a degree, but I think this is the kind of book that it would catch my eye, but I would have so many questions about that cover art and how it's
Yeah.
relevant to the book, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I would pick this up, but so many questions.
That's fair. Yeah. So, what I like about this cover a lot, first, I like soft painterly covers that
Mm,
don't follow, I would say, a lot of the typical composition that we see in fantasy covers. And that was one of the things I liked about it.
right.
Um, I love the color palette so much.
It is nice. The colors used.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mm.
from somebody who's read it, I do feel like the color palette and also the scene, and I can't because it would be spoilers, but if I did a spoiler discussion, I could go in and talk a little bit about the colors in certain parts of
Okay.
the cover. Um, I do feel like it represents the tone of the inside of the book fairly well. Um,
Okay.
and what I liked about this right away is I knew that I was dealing with a non Western setting,
Right. Okay,
which
yeah.
I'm always here for.
Yeah.
And it's a military fantasy of some kind, right? Because there's an
Yep.
army, we've got weapons, we've got someone who looks like they're clearly experienced military, potentially.
Yep.
Um, and the setting, those two things, I think, were a big draw for me initially. It's been, I'm trying to think back to like when I first read this book. Um, the font is one I like the font style choice in terms of like which font that they used. I do think
Mhm.
that something more interesting could have been done with the font. I do like that it doesn't detract from the artwork though.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's kind of like it's stamped on,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And it's stamped onto the artwork itself. But
Mhm.
yeah, I see what you mean there. I just like that I can read it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think sometimes people do way too much with font, so that's
Yes.
totally fair. It's very
And
readable. It's simple. It doesn't detract from the
yes.
painting. What more can we ask for?
And I'm very much the person who needs just a block of color behind font to make it easily
Mm,
readable. Otherwise, my eyes are fighting. My brain is fighting, you know?
mhm. That's that's totally fair.
But yeah, I could absolutely see this like printed out, beautiful on the wall, you know?
Mhm.
Like a nice,
Mhm.
beautiful piece of artwork.
Definitely.
All right, the next one we're going to is one I really like.
Ooh, okay. Mm, mhm.
Right? With I
Mhm.
did not plan these, by the way. We did not talk about silhouettes or that kind
Nope.
of
I had no
formatting before.
idea what you were gonna show me.
I just grabbed a bunch of covers that have been either catching my eye for one reason or another. They just happen to have some similarities.
There's so many layers to this cover, but it's not overwhelming, which is something that I think
Mm,
is very impressive because the architecture in the background feels very like actually fantasy, not just like oh it's a
mhm.
setting that's based on this kind of part of the world or history. It feels otherworldly,
Yeah.
like which I love immediately. We have the suggestion of a character,
Mhm.
but just enough to be like mysterious.
You can fill in the blank kind of thing too.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
love the crimson sun orb behind it. And one of the things I will say to your point with fonts, I think the reason why this font doesn't get lost and it like you have the red behind it, but the other thing that they did was a very slight black shadow around
Ah, yeah,
the white
yeah.
text, and that will make it pop a lot more and make it easily readable regardless of what's behind it.
Yeah.
um yeah, I the one thing about this cover, the I like the kind of bridge um
Mhm.
formation that's up ahead of him. It does interrupt my flow of visualizing the cover a little bit, and I
Oh,
think
okay.
putting it off to the side a little bit more, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but it does kind of interrupt the composition a little bit.
Okay, so I get what you mean there. To me, I have the opposite reaction. To me, because there's also a little bridge in the distance if you look.
Right, yep, yep.
To me, it's kind of like
Lead
leading me somewhere.
through, sure, yep, I see
Yeah.
that.
Almost like a tunnel or something, or I don't
Mhm.
something he's got a duck under. I have no idea. I haven't read the book yet.
There's also like the black formations to the sides
Mhm.
do give kind of this imposing, like hovering
Yes.
presence, darker presence, which I also think is very interesting.
Which helps with that tunnel feel a little bit.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, but I also love the black and white.
Yeah,
I
I do too.
actually
I do
love
too.
with that pop of color,
Black,
but
white, and red. Mm.
yes. But there's
Yep.
not that many covers that are willing to go the black and white route. There's usually background color or pops of
Mhm.
color everywhere. I actually think this stands out really well. Like, it would stand
I
out
do too.
beautifully on a shelf. It would
Absolutely
catch
would.
my eye
Yep.
in a heartbeat. Yeah. So, really good job. The next one, okay, so this one is another old versus like, oh, through the ages, I guess. This one
Okay.
is 2,
Okay.
and you've read this one.
Yep.
So this is the older one, Daughter of the
Yes.
Forest, and the reason
That's the
again I
version I
wanted.
read.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Hmm.
So this is the version I had, like my mom had in storage
Yeah.
for a long time, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna read it," and I just never got to it. but it's the one that's familiar to me, but I haven't read it, yet you have. So, do you want to do the reverse this time where you give me your
Sure.
impressions and then I'll tell you, because mine are more nostalgic, I think.
So this one, again, going back to one of the things I do really like about this cover is it's very character focused. We
Hmm.
don't have a landscape really to speak of. We don't have the colorful painting that is a common style now. The focus is completely on the character and her emotion. There's
Hmm.
this like almost a supplication kind of pose to her, which I like. Um, I don't particularly love the cover overall, but I do think that it mirrors the character focus of
Mm.
Sorsha being really the front center of this book and everything else kind of being behind her.
Right.
I do like the kind of Irish style to
Yes.
the F and a little bit behind her name, which is, I just noticed that very faint
Yeah.
scrolling was back there.
They snuck it in
Um,
there.
they did. So it gives you like an inkling of where this might be inspired from or where it's set.
For me, I always associated it with, and I haven't read the story, but with the character and the swan, a story of transformation, right?
Mm-hmm,
Growth
mm-hmm.
into
Yep.
something different,
Yep.
whether it's beautiful or not. But with the swan there, I imagine something more positive than what they were. Um, who knows? I do like the font. I really, really, talking about that block of color at the bottom for the author's name.
Yep.
I love that. I love that they
Yeah,
did
I
that.
don't mind that either.
That I really appreciate. The
Mm-hmm.
style of art is classic to me. It's,
Mm-hmm.
one of those things that um, indicates an era, but
Yeah.
remains classy, if that makes sense, remains
It
kind of
feels
in,
historical, which
yeah.
it is.
The next one.
I have 3 covers of this on my shelf, so I'm curious to see which one you got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three. Oh, how did you get
Mhm.
three?
I have the UK version.
Ah, okay, I got you.
Since it's not up on screen, I can show you what that
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
Yeah, very simple,
Yeah,
very it means
yeah.
more once you've read the book, I think.
I actually was gonna
That
say I
version.
think I prefer, because of the black and white, right? I prefer that cover a
Mhm.
little bit more.
Mhm.
With Since I've just shared that, I don't like this. It's not for me. I find it way too busy in the silhouette of the swan, so much that I lose
Mhm.
the shape of the swan,
The swan, yep.
and then it's just green with green water because of the ripples at the bottom. I can
Yep.
read the title and the name.
Yeah,
That's
points.
points.
So the other thing is I don't feel like this cover really exemplifies the story. The green background I think is fine. It's kind of
Mhm.
a growth color. Um,
Okay.
or a kind of a symbol of like life and living. So I can see that.
Yeah.
Love is the strongest magic of all is way too romance coded for this book. um, like if you go into this expecting like a romantasy, it's not that at all.
Poor
It's
marketing on that
it's
one.
dark fairy tale, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the swan, like with the head of the swan, it's fine, but yeah, it's very busy.
My brain keeps wanting to come back to, would the interior of the swan look better in black and white? Or like
Maybe.
a dual tone
Or
gradient,
yeah, just
right?
bring some of the color down. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
it's assaulting my eyes. It's
That's not good.
it's too many colors.
It's too
So yeah,
much.
I see color, I don't see shape, I guess is what it comes down to for
Sure.
me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So this one
Mm.
is a dual silhouette. Again, I didn't plan this.
We love our
I
silhouettes. I love the composition of this a lot. I love we've got our soldier in the front and then this, huge creature behind him, which it is hard to tell that it's a little difficult to tell that it's a dragon.
Yeah.
Um, but this is also book 3. So
Yes,
if we
so
didn't know it was a dragon by now, we're not paying attention. And having read book 1, like and knowing the backstory of the characters, but having the blindfold
I
over the dragon's
know.
face really is like, this isn't every, like all the other dragon fantasies that, it gives something different to that.
It's not just the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the
Yeah,
main
the
character.
hints. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's got the blindfold too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it makes
Yeah.
it raises a lot of questions. I do agree the composition of the dragon in terms of, or at least maybe the way his wings are styled
Yeah.
looks a bit odd, and it could be the
Mm-hmm.
coloring, like the lighting palette as well, because it looks like they're in a bit of fire battle.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's partly why with how it's lighted. But yeah, I immediately I just see dragon head and guy with
Yep.
sword and
Yep.
blindfolds, and I'm like, what happened? I want to
And
know.
I love that the text is very easy readable.
Yeah.
It doesn't detract from it, allows the artwork to be the main feature of the cover.
Yeah,
Um, and I think, is there a soft gradient or something
there
on
is.
that? Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
little bit of interest.
Yeah, I would say this one is similar for me in terms of By Blood, by Salt, where it
Mm.
does have that feel of like you could put this up as artwork
Mhm.
on your wall.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think that gradient in the text helps a lot in
Mhm.
making it stand out.
I also love how the lines in the dragon's neck are almost glowing.
Yeah, I didn't even
That's a
notice
cool
that.
feature, and it kind of adds like a frame almost to the rider.
Yeah, it draws your eye to
Um,
them.
yeah, and I love that it also has some easily relatable quintessential fantasy markers. You've got a dragon, and you
Hmm.
also have this massive ornate fantasy sword on the front. And I think, um, it immediately speaks to things that we know, but it also has little differences of interest that pull your eye right away.
All right, the next one, I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Should we just end it there? Should we just...
This is it. We quit. So at first glance, it's incredibly visually overwhelming. The
Mhm.
goal, which, if you want to be meta about it, like maybe that's the point. But that doesn't mean that it's not overwhelming.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it was the
um,
right choice.
I like the frame of the jungle around, and it gives very El Dorado kind of, you're peering
Yeah,
through at
yeah.
this maybe forsaken or hidden thing that you're like, it's almost like voyeuristic in a good way.
Right. Right, like
Like you're
adventures
seeing,
await.
yeah, that
Yeah,
kind of a
yeah.
thing. Um, the text does get a little bit lost.
I can't even read the text. I
Kayla's
just
brain is like, ah.
I just see, like, designs, like, even the author's name, the last name, it takes
Mhm.
effort for me, like, and
Marine.
leaning in to
Yeah.
actually read it.
Oh, there's
It
a novel is down there too. I just noticed that. It's in there. I think the
Yep.
colors of this I love. I love the color scheme of this a lot.
Yeah,
Um, and I think the little like rays, or if is that supposed to be like a waterfall motif?
I would
Like
say
in the middle coming down?
fireflies, sun rays,
I
magic.
think I don't know that it needed to come all the way down the front because it adds more
Mm.
busyness to something that's already incredibly visually overwhelming.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would have maybe just done it at the top in that blue area and then left the city alone. I really like the color scheme.
I'll give you that. I really like the color
I
scheme
do.
too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
I
pretty.
just again,
It's
my
a
eyes
lot.
have been assaulted. I don't know where to look.
Putting that on Kayla's t-shirt for her merch shop.
Yes, my eyes have been assaulted.
I mean, the
Yeah.
architecture, and that's what's hard about the busyness for me, is because
Mm,
once you get past that, right, and your eyeballs have a chance to adjust, um, the architecture that's being
yeah.
shown is really cool. And you're getting, again, that like non Western uh, fantasy pull that is always a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Um, Beautiful architecture. So that part I love, but I wish I could just appreciate it more.
See, I'm not a design artist by any mean. I have 0 skill, with it, so grain of salt.
Mhm.
But I would really love to see that architecture moved up a little bit and the bottom quarter do, like, the jungle motif. with the title
Okay.
and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, the way they've done it. Mm,
I even feel like, because it looks like they kind of copy pasted some of the architecture elements also. And like if you look at the top one
mm,
versus the one in the middle,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's copy
but
pasted. You're right.
I wonder too if they had brought the jungle in a little bit more and you were seeing a little bit less of the
Maybe.
city. Maybe that would have toned it down enough where it would be a little bit more.
And take those rays
Um,
out.
yeah, the rays are a lot.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I love what's here. I just wish it had
Hmm.
been put together in a different way. I think is where I'm at.
Yeah, like a good starting point, but I think it just
Mhm.
all the text, everything gets way too lost.
I'm still curious about the book, but
See, this actually loses my interest
okay.
because I have to fight so hard to understand what the cover and the title is. And even like it says on the I didn't even see a novel until you point it, and then even then I had to figure out where. So yeah, it's this would put me off from even wanting to pick it
Hmm.
up.
I
Yeah.
feel like I maybe this isn't true, but I feel like I give less weight to the cover as I do the first chapter or so of the book.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
fair.
feel like you might even be more forgiving than me when it comes to the first section of a book.
Yeah,
And I might
I'll
be more forgiving in terms of a cover. I mean, like, well, yeah, it's kind of a wrong one, but I'm curious about it because I kind of get what's being put down here.
you're right in that regard where I do give it quite a bit more of a chance. I'll read like 75% of a book before I'm like, "All right, well, there's nothing saving this now."
And then you're like, I shouldn't DNF this, right?
No,
Like,
I've only
yes.
got like a little bit left. I should finish it, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I am more picky when it comes to picking books to buy because I
Yeah.
have such a small budget when it comes
Right.
to book
Yep.
buying. So
Yep.
I really do want to be careful and I do try and pick as best as I can, but this would just put it to the bottom of the pile,
Well,
unfortunately.
I don't know how everybody in the audience is about this, so I'd love for them to tell us. But like,
Mm,
I typically purchase books not like I. It's very rare for me to just go into a bookstore and buy based off of covers.
yeah,
I haven't done that in years because
same.
most of the books that I purchase are direct recommendations or books that
Yeah.
I've been researching or have heard a lot about, and the cover is kind of a secondary thing for me. Um, so I can't. That would be kind of cool, actually, is to go do a project where you just walk into a bookstore and pick like 3 books based on the cover alone. You don't look them up. It's
Yeah.
dangerous.
I've done it. I don't recommend it.
I know, same. I'm like, that sounds really cool in theory.
All right. Well, the next one is so we have three again, but this is a
Okay.
duology.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
going to show you books, the cover art for book one, and then we'll go book two,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
then we'll
Okay.
do a side by side.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. This is one I've read.
Okay.
I don't think you've read this one.
Ooh.
Gogmagog
No, I have not read this.
by Jeff Noon and Steve Beard.
I'm just taking it all in. Okay. I
Yeah.
like, again, we've got some silhouettes.
Hmm.
And what I like about the minimal color palette is that it doesn't add to the busyness of the line art, which I
Yeah.
appreciate. It gives, and also that choice to make the background a different color
Right. Yeah.
separates the busyness. So I feel like if you're going to have artwork like this on your book cover, this is a good way to do it because
Hmm.
you're giving the reader visually separation while having a fairly detailed line art, which is impressive, honestly. And
Yeah.
I love the faint dragon
Yes.
in the background, just as kind of a ominous presence. I
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, I love the palette they went with for the colors. I also appreciate that, I don't often like logos, but you just
Mm,
barely notice it in the bottom. They
yeah,
did put
it's
it
not.
there, but it's not in
Yeah.
your face.
Yep.
And the style of the text also kind of gives you an idea of the type of culture or world setting that we're going into, which I also really like.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I agree with you. I like this one. So let's dive into.
I do want to say
Oh yeah,
really quickly a
yeah,
detail I really like about this as I'm looking at it longer. The background, the city,
yes,
is broken. It
yes,
looks post-apocalyptic-y. And
Yep.
the foreground, it's almost showing us like a past and present a little bit,
Okay.
or something of that nature, where you have like
Yeah.
this area that isn't broken down, but it's kind of patched together. Like people have had to kind of like, put together what works. And then
Yeah.
there's that broken down city in the background. I do wish the text was a little bit, there's too much white space
Mm,
around the text for me.
I could see
Um,
that.
yeah, but I like the way that they've orchestrated this quite a lot.
So keep all of that
Okay.
in your noggin because
Okay.
this is book two.
Ooh.
Right?
Yep, love that. Again, I want the text to be a little bit more. um,
Yeah. I think that like gradient or lighting that they did on it kind of loses it here. Um,
yeah.
rather
Yep.
than lets it stand out. Maybe that.
This is almost an interesting difference because in this one, the background looks more lived in and vibrant than the foreground. So it's
Mm.
almost like that's really interesting.
So let's put these side by side.
Oh,
Right?
beautiful.
And then the
Beautiful.
spines
I love
also
that.
line up. The spines line up too.
Love that.
It I love it.
That's
It's
very cool.
to me
Mm-hmm.
it's a refreshing style choice. And yeah, I agree. When
It
you see it,
is.
especially like this, the font that they use for the title and the authors, I do think they could have done something a little bit different. But I also
But
feel like,
overall, it's very cool.
yeah, and I kind of feel like they did this on purpose though. Like they wanted the artwork on display, maybe,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you
And
know?
it definitely allows the artwork to take center stage, which is
Yeah.
good. I've seen so many covers where the artists are paid to do this beautiful artwork, and then they cover like
Yeah.
2/3 of it with text, and it's
Yeah.
like there's a
Or
reason
the
why like readers love naked hardcovers when it's just the
yes.
picture.
Yes. Or they shade it in like mostly black, right? So
Hmm.
that the font does
Hmm.
show up. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, to me this was a lot. It was partially
It's
the
very cool.
the stylistic choice to represent the world because I do feel like this represents the world really, really well. I've read the first one. I
Mhm.
still need to finish the duology. But at the same time, to me, this also feels like a marketing ploy.
For sure.
How many covers do you see that match up beautifully like that?
And not a
You know?
ton in fantasy. This
Hmm.
almost feels more graphic novel to me
Yeah,
in
that's true.
style, which, like, just from a genre standpoint, that's what I would think of when I would see a cover. I would expect to see almost a graphic novel on the inside.
Yeah.
um but yeah, I like when fantasy authors are willing to like push that boundary a little bit and be like, what if we did this though, and it works.
Yeah. And like, this is one I'm actually curious if you would end up liking because it does have a bit of a motley crew. It's a bit
Say
of a there you go, sold. It's a little bit darker, but you basically follow an older lady who's really crotchety, and she's an old sailor. She's just swears she does what she wants. She doesn't care what other people think, and she basically has to set out on this, like, l mission, and, she has to come out of retirement, basically. I
You've
really
sold
liked
me
book
so many times with that.
but yeah, I think you would like this. It has a really interesting world, very visual in terms of its writing style
Mm.
too. So
Well, it's on my Goodreads TBR now.
brilliant. On to the next one. This is the one you
Ah,
sent.
this one, I just kind of went through my TBR on Goodreads and grabbed a few that jumped out at me. This one,
Yeah.
to me, is an example of using text with the background
Mm,
well, and also creating the emotion of that immediately tells you, or gives you that feeling of being in the story without actually opening the pages.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
so you see the title, The Last Lifeboat, and all of a sudden you're looking down at this, vast, deep sea that you can't see underneath, and this
Yes.
tiny little island of survival in the middle of it. Um, I love this cover. I
I
really
do
do.
too.
I really do. And I'm terrified of the ocean. So like it
Yes.
evokes exactly what it is trying to.
Lost in the vastness.
Ugh.
Yeah, so you sent me this and I was like, "Oh, it's beautiful," but this is also
Hmm.
the cover I will never remember the title of the book. I will be that
Sure.
annoying customer being like, "It's got a boat in the ocean." on the cover.
I mean, if you could remember the lifeboat, you might be
Yeah,
fine.
maybe, but,
Yeah.
yeah, like, for me, the font, it's good use of it,
Hmm.
but it doesn't draw my eye enough to make it the focal point in my brain, to actually signal my brain to remember it. The
Hmm.
art definitely is predominant for me, but I do like that I can read everything clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
Yeah,
like you said, the first focal point for me is the lifeboat
yeah,
itself. And then I see the text, and then I have this foreboding sense of just
yes,
unfathomable dread when
yes,
I view the ocean around it afterwards. And it all happens in a split second that we notice these things in
yeah.
order. So sometimes I feel like it's hard to back up and break down what your mind is noticing first.
'Cause what
But
what you get is just, like, that initial reaction, right? It for me, I feel it right in
mhm.
my gut, and I'm like, don't cool, but don't like that." Like, I I don't like the
Mhm.
situation they're in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
especially because when you look a little deeper, you're noticing probably that there are it looks like young characters in the
Mm.
lifeboat,
Oh, I don't like that.
which, no, I don't like that either. Which is kind of, it feels like the point.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm
Ah,
sad, and we need to move on.
I just think it's a really good cover.
It is, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one you sent. I I've seen this one before,
Mm-hmm.
and I do like it. I do like the silhouette against the white of the cranes.
Mm-hmm.
The more I look, though, the more I question how many freaking cranes are in this cover. There's one, 2,
Four?
3, 4, 5, 6. No, there has to be
Oh,
6
five?
because where's the 6th one? Is she the 6th crane?
Maybe.
Questions. See? At least I'm asking questions.
That's good.
Um, but yeah, like I do think it's really nice. It gives me an idea. Her decor and her hair accessories and her
Mm-hmm.
clothing gives me an idea for the
The
culture that I'm
setting.
walking into, the
Mm-hmm.
setting. And I
Mm-hmm.
actually do really like the incorporation of the cranes because they act as a beautiful backdrop for that
They
bright
do.
red text.
Kayla's happy.
I'm so happy. Even the
Mhm.
font for the author's name, it's
Yeah.
a like yellowish orange color, but it
Yep.
works so well.
Yep.
Works so well. And even to the point where some of these covers we've looked at, the quote of endorsement that you see from other authors or wherever on the cover, usually they are assaulting my eyes. Not in this case. I actually don't notice it really unless I'm actually
Mhm.
breaking it down like this
Looking.
and looking. So I do
Mhm.
really appreciate a lot of the subtlety that they put into this. There's a lot of
Mhm.
detail when you really break it down.
A
Um,
lot of detail.
yeah, this one has caught my eye in past, and it continues to do so as it continues to show up
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
on my
Subliminal
shopping trips.
messaging.
Yeah, clearly.
I haven't read this one yet either.
Yeah, okay.
But it's on, I think it's one of my priority reads for 2025. So I love the movement on this
Mhm.
cover. A lot of covers, there's action happening, but
Yeah,
it's hard to get a real feeling of movement that kind of comes off the page.
yeah.
Um, and I like that about it. I also like that we're getting a sense of tension or fear because in the crane's eyes, there's that rolled white,
Oh,
which in
yes.
the animal world is kind of a fear
Yeah,
response. Um,
didn't know
and
birds could do that.
right, I don't know if they can,
I
but
don't
it's effective on the cover.
Yeah,
Um, and I like, again, she's making eye contact with the viewer, which I think can be a really powerful marketing tool, to be honest.
yeah.
Um, love the way that the text is incorporated and is
Mhm.
readable, but it doesn't feel like it's detracting from what's behind it. Um, yeah, I really like this cover.
Yeah. I think we can end there because I like this one too.
Yeah, I like it too.
Alright, this one is book 1 in a series I have been loving.
I can't wait to read this, first of all. Like, I can't wait. I'm very
Yeah,
excited. And this is another series that, slight tangent, I think
yeah,
5 years ago, I would have not. I mean, I actually did come across this series
yeah.
years ago and was like, eh. And now I'm like, I'm so excited to read it. So
Yeah.
it's exciting to me to see how my reading tastes have changed, and I want to do a whole video about that.
Nice.
But this is so cool because, like we talked about with, oh my gosh, Defendant,
Defiant.
um, Defiant, Songs of Chaos, Book 3, Defiant.
Yeah.
What are words? It takes dragon,
Hmm.
right? Fantasy, quintessential fantasy marker, and it says, what if we twist it a little bit? So this, we
Yeah.
have immediately a scientific kind of look at dragons, and this, it just pulls right off the page immediately, and it looks very meticulous. And
Yes.
I'm already guessing that the main character is probably a scientist based on this
Mm.
cover, even if I didn't know that
Yeah.
already. And you're getting this very, like, I love the font a
Yeah.
lot, and the title immediately tells me, okay, so we're doing something a little different with dragons here, and it feels a little bit more, you're not going in with the probably big nation conflicts and blowing
Epic.
things up. It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Epic
yeah.
battles and stuff. It's got a different I think too this they chose the series name beautifully. A
Mhm.
memoir by Lady
And
Trent,
Lady Trent.
right? Or a
Yep.
subtitle.
Beautiful.
Because it gives you an idea of that you're in for a story of reflection
Yep.
and like
Yep.
reciting old tales.
Mhm.
So I do really like that as well. To me,
Also, that is a
I
very cool dragon.
right? And one thing I love about this series is that it portrays different kinds of dragons based on their environment. So
Cool.
it very much looks at dragons in an evolutionary standpoint rather than the typical fantasy tropes.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I love the simplicity of it, honestly.
Mhm.
I would look at this and
I
go,
do too.
yeah, get the same vibe of like something is science related, even if I didn't know this was following a character or Lady Trent, for example.
Mhm.
But I love the simplicity of it. It stands out on the
Me
shelves.
too.
There's something about that contrasting white to a lot of the other kind of book covers that we see where they're darker colors. They're more
Mhm.
like
It
um,
stands out.
yeah, some of them are vibrant in ways, but they're usually a
Mhm.
darker tint of red. They're a darker tint
Mhm.
of orange or whatever the case. So, yeah, I love
It
the
can
white of it.
I think it can be very easy to do a solid background cover very wrong very easily, but when it's done right,
Yeah.
it's so good. It's so
Mhm.
good. It's like, a cover that has a heavy black
Yeah.
background, or mostly black background, or mostly white. Um, it's very easy to do that in a way that's, like,
Mm.
too simplistic, but I feel like this
Yeah.
hits a very good balance.
Yeah.
And there's
I
a lot of
think
colors involved too.
there are, yeah, like it even breaks down, the outer part of the body down to the bone.
Mhm.
And it's all like very meticulously numbered and put
Mhm.
together. The one thing I wouldn't get from the vibe of the cover, at least, is the setting.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like, I
Yep.
wouldn't know this is a historical fantasy, in a way
Mhm.
set in, like, a Victorian setting. I would not get that vibe from it necessarily.
I also like that you can see on the very bottom edge, she has definitely spilled some tea on the sketchbook page.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mhm. Little detail. I like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
very nice. Good catch.
Haven't we all?
Well, and what's nice too is I think you have the physical copy, so you could probably tell me more. But I think there's illustrations on the
Yes.
inside, and the main character is an artist.
Oh my gosh,
So
Kayla, where did I put it? It's on my shelf.
it's not within reach. How
Oh, there it is. Yep,
unacceptable.
there it is. It's like A B C D. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the physical cover I feel like is even a little bit more of a contrast, which is hard to
Mhm.
tell.
Yeah, so the main
Um,
character is an artist, so I love that they put that added detail of including what I assume
mhm.
would be her sketches.
Yep.
My only pet peeve, and I don't know if it's in your copy, but the copies that I've seen in our local store have a very light brown font,
Yes, it does.
like the
It's
one that
got more, I mean, the one thing I do like about it, and it'll be interesting to see as I'm reading it
yeah.
if that is hard visually or not. Um, is it feels handwritten a little bit with that.
I do get the
I
vibe
do
of
like
that.
that.
I just
Yeah,
struggle. I feel like my eyes
that's
would
fair.
strain, you
And
know?
I don't think you'd be alone in that, probably.
Yeah. All right. Next one. They don't like it. I don't.
I feel like
Mhm.
we needed to get this off our chest. I feel like
Probably, yeah.
Kayla was like, I need to talk about these covers because I've been holding
I
it in.
do. I do. I need to talk. It matters. Covers matter to me.
This is another one that is very visually overwhelming to me.
Mhm.
Um, because nothing is separated. It's all
Yeah.
like layered on top of each other in a way that I'm trying to like I have to kind of separate them in my head a little
Yeah.
bit. And again, I like the elements, the fact that we have an hourglass, we have a circus tent.
Yeah.
That piques my interest. Um, so there's a time limit where we're trying to do something within a certain time. There's a circus aspect to this.
Yeah.
Like I'm cool with all of that. I just wish that the cover told like wasn't so visually overstimulating, I think is the word that I'm looking for. That's a
Mm,
lot.
it's a lot. I think if they had dialed down the text a little bit for the title, maybe
Mm-hmm.
put it in the top part of that hourglass
Yeah, that
and,
would
like,
be
had it
cool.
kind of filter
Mm-hmm.
through a little bit, narrow down on the
Sure.
bottom, to
Yep.
give it that kinda I don't know the story, but if it
Sure.
has, like, a ticking time, kind of plot, like, to give that
Yep.
sense of time is dwindling.
Then the
Um,
text is kind of falling toward the yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
would be cool.
and
I d
yeah.
but Kayla, then you would lose the very helpful blurb of mesmerizing and magical,
They
which we
don't
can't
need
we
it.
can't have that.
I don't care. Put it on the back. I don't care. I For me, I don't look at covers for endorsements. I don't look at the
No. Well,
covers
and
for that.
most of the endorsements are
Mm,
so unhelpful anyways.
they are. Usually
Yeah.
it uses a name of another author or something like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
90% of the time, I don't know who that person is anyway, so it does nothing for me. Not to say that, like, those people are, not beloved by other readers
Mhm.
at all. It's just for
You
me,
just haven't come across
I
them.
haven't come across them. I haven't had that
Yeah.
experience. So their endorsement means nothing, especially when it just says mesmerizing and magical. That describes a lot of books,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think to get rid of those, put those on the back of the book or put them on the inside flaps like they used to. Well, that was fun. Let's move on. There we have this one.
Hmm. I really like this one.
Thank you.
Really like this one. Yep,
I
I
didn't
really like
need you
that
to like it, but I kind of did.
one. Were we still gonna be friends at the end of this video?
Yes. I have no idea what this book is about, but I
Ah,
love the cover.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Again, way to use gray in the right way.
Yes,
Love it.
and then
Little ugh.
the white in the
Mm,
center or, like, on the bottom there, the character in the boat, and is that, like, an
mhm,
oar in the water? Did they lose the oar?
mhm.
There are birds flying off in the distance matching that same white. How are they related? Mm.
And we're being
Sunset?
tunneled toward the last little bit of light.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Alright.
The text is easily readable,
Yes,
but
thank you.
also it's still incorporated with like
Yeah.
it's I like that some of the spray is coming through the letters. Um, I love the full focus on detail being
Yeah.
in this little figure, and everything else is just very kind of ethereal lines, whereas that's
Yes.
very detailed. I love that. That's a good, really good use of contrast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's almost like that the light that he's I'm assuming going towards is like filtering in this little like he's following a trail towards it because it's
Mhm.
filtering through the
It's
waves,
kinda
which I don't know how like physics possible that is, but it's we
magic,
don't care.
Tori.
It's art.
It's
Yeah,
art
I
and
love that.
magic.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but I love the use kind of like you were talking about the 6 cranes, that use of making something look like it's in motion
Yeah.
with
Yep.
just the lines. The lines portray so much in that regard, and I love that feeling that he's about to go over the edge, and I can feel my stomach, like, lurching for this
Yep.
character.
He
So,
lost his oar.
Yeah. It made it to the TBR just based on this cover.
I just looked it up on Goodreads, so
There you go, see?
yeah,
A good cover that catches the eye, and everyone's tastes are gonna be different. If you made it
absolutely.
this far in
Yep.
the video, disclaimer,
I'm sure
um,
there will be people that disagree with all of our opinions.
absolutely, but for me, this kind of artwork, this kind of styling, tells way more about the story for me. It's a story in and of
Yeah.
itself, so,
Well, it evokes
yeah.
emotion immediately too. It's not just a
Yeah.
picture of something, it's evoking that emotion and that movement, which is really cool.
This one, I've read this one. I don't Have you read this one?
No, but I want to really badly.
Oh, okay. Do you wanna go first then
I
so I don't mess up your perspectives?
sure. So I from a personal note, immediately it's a Motley Crew,
Yes. It
you know.
absolutely
Um
is.
and I can't get enough of that in my life. I love the font. I love that type of font. It's very Never Die has a very similar font to that Rob J. Hayes books. I love that kind of like blotchy paint, like slashes kind of
Yes.
font. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, I love that we have a main character. Like she looks very cool.
Mhm.
I'm trying not to swear on YouTube.
I mean, you can say it. It's fine.
And she's protecting a child, which immediately gives her brownie points in my book as a mom. And we've
Absolutely.
got this like they just look like they're they've got each other's backs. I love the character work on this cover a lot.
Yes.
Um, each character has very distinct physical presence, not just in how they look, but just their body language, even in a quick
Yeah.
glance. Um, I have no idea what's behind them. I
I
have
think
no
it
idea what that is.
I think it's a rock formation
I thought it was like a tornado or
'cause the
something.
yeah, I
I
would
don't
say
know.
that is a flaw, but because they are in kind of like, frontier sort of setting. This is a fantasy
I can see
western,
that.
so this is kind of like
Oh,
the old,
I need to read this.
right? It is
Mhm,
Motley Crue, you do have that,
mhm,
but yeah, it does capture it perfectly, exactly like you said. It has the mother figure protecting the child, and then you have this
mhm,
Motley Crue who's against they're trying to make this daring escape. But one thing I loved about it, apart from all of that, was it reads very much like a cinematic movie. Like this could be a movie,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Start to finish.
mhm.
But I also love how the cover itself keeps that pen stroke style
Yeah.
in the hair, the white,
Mhm,
like brilliant white hair and the blue in the background. It kind of matches the tone and the style
mhm,
of the
mhm.
title. And there's an alternative cover to this. I don't have it, but I'll put it on the screen for everyone watching, where there's a black and white version of this.
Kind of like he has another book that has a
Yes,
black and white cover
the
like that. Yeah.
Blackhawks, I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. Yep.
Yeah. So they did a similar style for this, series as well as, like, an alternative cover choice.
Mhm.
I personally love the color. I think the color
I
pops
do too.
really well. And
Yeah,
the
it's a
style,
really yeah, good color palette.
yeah, like, this is you were talking about earlier, so one of the books we could open up and it would be like a comic. For me, this is the same
Mm.
vibe I get.
Graphic novel, definitely.
Yeah, it
Yep.
would be like a comic, a graphic novel. Yeah, it has that same vibe.
And it also I like this kind of a style because it has those kind of darker, sharper edges, which I feel like would translate to
Yeah.
the inside of the book as well. Like not having read it, but I would assume that just looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of like a frontier story, so there's, some, uh, pretty dark moments in some ways, just in the terms of the
Gritty.
harshness
It
of
feels
life.
very gritty. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's a gritty feel to it, there's some harshness to the world setting, but there's also some really nice, dynamics between the characters
Mm,
too, so, like, you see the kind of Motley Crue vibe, but then you kind of for me, this kinda says, "Okay, yeah, we've got the action, we've got the foreboding, but then which one is the guy who's just cheeky and pokes
Mm-hmm.
the jokes and, the witty guy. Where's he out of the crew on this cover? Because there's
Mm-hmm.
always one.
There's always one.
Always one. But yeah,
I'm guessing it's the one that's directly to the right of her.
don't
He's
guess
got
that
his
so fast.
midriff showing.
I don't know.
Oh, he looks cheeky. 100% zeroed.
Yeah.
That one.
Yep.
Yep. He's got his midriff showing. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like, that's the dead giveaway.
That's the giveaway. Okay, crop
And
tops
out of
are out.
right, everybody's got this kind of like sterner expression except him.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
You nailed it.
I'm so excited to read this.
This is one you sent
Mm.
me. We got that silhouette going.
I forgot I sent this to you, so I was like, oh, I like this cover too.
I would hope so. You
AADD
sent
is so
it.
much fun. Um,
Ah.
and I sent these to you like 2 days ago. Okay,
It's okay. We can gloss over
I
that.
love this cover. I love
Mm,
this cover.
yeah.
Again, we're getting a little bit of that graphic novel vibe. Immediately, we get a sense of the era
Mm,
with
the
her
setting.
clothing and armor and her firearm. But also, I really like the background because we've got these massive mountains in the background and then the skeletons of these very large creatures, which
Yeah.
immediately makes me excited because I'm like, okay, how are we merging that kind of era with
Mm,
maybe some kind of monster slash magical creatures? Maybe? I don't know. I haven't read this yet.
yeah.
I need to.
Yeah.
I love the text. Love the text.
Mm.
Placement, style, love it. I love this cover.
I love the hints of the fire, like the sparks as well,
Mm-hmm.
lighting up like the rib
Love its
cage in
color.
the background and
Mm-hmm.
just certain elements of it. I do appreciate that they didn't take that element and put it over the character's
Yeah.
upper body.
Yeah.
And right to more so to the right of the character, there's you can see a flock of birds taking off. So the more my eye follows one element to the next, there's another element that catches my eye. There's another piece of art that catches my eye, and it's just like ends up. My eyes just end up circling the cover art as a result of it. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. It's a really cool
I
cover.
like the bones
Yes,
framing.
and the series name is very. It piques my curiosity. The Blood
Mm-hmm.
Scouts,
Yeah.
and then it's
This
followed by
one,
however many must die. Like,
great title.
dang.
Fantastic title. Love the title. This was one that was a cover buy for me.
Oh, okay.
I purchased at least the ebook first because I've gotten a lot more. Like I try to read at least some of or all of the book and then
Yeah.
purchase the physical afterwards. But this was one where I saw the cover, I saw the title, and I bought that ebook immediately. I didn't even read the synopsis before I bought it.
Dang, yeah.
And I'm very excited about this one. I also love that kind of circular design to the left of her.
Mm.
Um, I can't tell if it's like a thorny vine or
I
barbed
think
wire.
I think it's barbed wire. To me, this kind of
Yeah.
gives like World War II vibes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But with
Um,
like giant creatures.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
here for it. I'm so excited.
You're gonna have to
Obviously
tell me.
military.
Yes.
Yep.
No, I that's yeah, I'm really curious about this one now.
Hmm. Me too.
And then we have that like black and gray kind of
Yep.
motif
It's
with it.
gray done well.
Yep.
Hmm.
It doesn't desaturate it too much. It still has elements that are highlighted, like the skull is very obvious in the background. You have the mountains that kind of help to lighten, like make the main character more the focal point by adding
Yep.
those mists and fog.
Well, and you
Yeah.
can even see one cool detail is on the left side of her cape, you can see the glow of fire,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
also a cool like lighting detail.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good catch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very cool. Well, it's all down her left side on that part, which is very
Yeah.
cool.
But
Yeah, I love this cover.
it is a smart design because that's I think where the direction of sparks are coming
Mhm,
from as well. So it all
mhm,
yeah, like I said earlier, just one element blends into the next. My eye just keeps wanting to look and follow.
mhm.
Yeah, really well done cover.
Yep, love it.
On to the next one. This is a series I've
Mm.
read and loved.
Yes, I need to read this still.
So I'm curious on your thoughts on the cover, because all the covers for the trilogy have this style,
Are very similar. Yeah.
very similar. Yeah, I don't want to color
I
your opinion.
I love ink drawings.
Mm,
I always have. Um, and so I like that kind of hand drawn
mm,
style artwork a lot.
yeah.
This is an example for me of stylized font that works. It's not
Okay.
too hard on my eyes. So, like, if we think back to the Assassin's Apprentice one, that I was like, oh, that's a little overwhelming
Yeah.
because there's like loops everywhere.
Yeah.
This one is a good balance of like, it's very stylized, but I don't feel overwhelmed by it. And I like that
Right.
there's a little bit of color in, they're using color in the spaces that they can really well.
Yeah.
I like the map. I like the sense that we're kind of off the map into the ocean, uh,
Hmm.
which fits with the title. I like the dragon motif, an instant fantasy
Yeah.
vibe. I like the simplistic color scheme. I
Yeah.
actually like this better. Yeah, I like this better than the Assassin's Apprentice style overall.
I could see that with the
Um,
dragon taking up a lot more space and the design
yeah,
and line art of it. Yeah.
yeah. I like the painterly style of like the family banner crest in Assassin's
Yeah.
Apprentice, but I like the overall feel of this a lot better.
Yeah. I'm kind of mid on this
Mid.
one. I like it. I like certain elements of it, but I also, knowing what is involved in the series, think it
Mm,
could be so much better represented. I like the font
okay.
choice. I think yeah, I agree with you
Mhm.
on that. That should stay, but I do think it doesn't, I mean, yeah, it gives you an idea that you're in for dragons and a voyage of some kind because of the mapping style,
Mhm.
but there's so much more to it. There's so much more to it, and I would just love to see all of the fascinating elements of this world that make it unique be
Yeah.
represented a little bit more. I think it
Even
that
just some small details, maybe.
yeah, like there are concepts within the world that I think would really represent it along with what they're trying to portray on this cover, like this style of cover,
Mhm.
that they
Mhm.
probably could have kept. But it's so minimal in terms of its
Mhm.
options that I think
Mhm.
it if I didn't know what this was, I might pass this by.
Sure.
Not, like, "Oh, it's cool, it's dragons. Neat. Ships in
Yeah.
there? Cool." I might not think to pick it up.
Yeah.
But I do think in ways it's stylistically done really well.
Yeah.
The title is done really well. It keeps the embodiment of the setting and the world, the dragon, and its involvement in the story.
Mhm.
And then that style with the line art, really nice.
Yeah.
And, it does like I offhand, I might not notice the map. It's very subtle to the side.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so
Well, and
yeah.
this I said dragon, but like it evokes more of a sea serpent vibe.
Yeah, I think
It's yeah,
it's more of a sea
yeah,
serpent dragon
yeah, which would make
creature.
sense because we're in the ocean.
Yes. Yeah, I just think it's a little too plain for how
Mm,
amazing and epic and rich the
complex.
world is. Yeah, there's
Mhm.
a lot of complexity to it, and I think there's so many cooler covers that I would like to see,
Mm,
represent the series, if that makes sense. But it on its
yeah.
own, I think
Yeah.
it's fine. But
I would
yeah.
I would pick up a book with this cover.
Yeah,
Um,
fair.
I would say if I was walking through, well, and I have seen it on the Barnes and Noble shelves before and been
Right.
gravitated toward and wow, and gravitated toward. I always make this disclaimer. I promise I'm more coherent in my writing than I am in my conversation. But yeah, I would
Uh,
gravitate towards something like this. I think
yeah,
oftentimes because when I'm looking at shelves and a whole bunch of books next to each other, sometimes I need that simplicity to give my
yeah.
brain a break. And I actually
Oh, for
end up
sure.
gravitating toward those simpler covers because I've
Yeah.
been staring at this wall of like super complicated things. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, ooh, I'm going to get this one because it's not as
Yeah.
overwhelming. Yeah.
No, I get that, and that's kinda why I wanted you to go first because I have a very different perspective on this one, just
Hmm.
based on my own
Well,
reading
you've read it.
experience of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is one where, because, I've read some of the other ones we talked about, but I felt like those were okay. They represented it
Mhm.
pretty well. This, I just feel like yeah, it represents it in a way,
Sure.
but just there's so much more to this than meets the
Yeah.
eye, you
Yeah.
know? The last one is
Ooh, a new one.
Frostfall, the one that came out
This
today.
just dropped like today. Yeah.
It did.
Mm.
That's why I think I
Hmm.
grabbed it, because I was like, "Oh, this will be, fresh for both of
And
us."
those of us that are very rooted in the indie community were like Jeff Brown.
Yeah, basically.
Immediately. Jeff Brown art.
Yep.
It's so
I
pretty.
love the griffin
Uh, I do the griffin in flight
with
in
the
the
circular
background
disc.
with the
Yes.
design and the circular city and the like clearly we're conquering or invading or something and the
Something's happening.
military
A
and
siege.
siege or something.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like they're filtering into the city now. Um,
Mhm.
the castle in the background that's separated. We've got some main characters up overlooking
We have a
the
mountain ridge as
detailing.
well.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the detailing in the disc a lot. I
Yeah.
think that adds a lot to it.
It's beautiful.
It's really beautiful. Good text.
And yeah, I love that use of the white behind
Mhm.
the top half, and then everything just
Mhm.
gets dark. It just has that
I
sense
would
of
actually
like,
shift all of that text up just a little bit because we've got that big band of
mm,
white space up at the top, and then you get the
right,
full detailing of the disc.
right. You just like that disc.
I do. It's a very sexy disc.
We know what's gonna be on the next book
Cover
cover.
nerds. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I do like too how it takes that innocent, very, pure sense of the white color, and it, as you go
Yeah.
down, it just gets darker
Yeah.
and darker and just,
Mhm.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
pure and then this sense of destruction down at the bottom. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, and then that
beautiful.
griffin just being right there.
Mhm.
Yeah. I really like this one. I think they did a
That's a
really good.
beautiful cover.
This is also book 2, apparently.
I know.
So, now I
So
need
I
to know
have
what
to
book 1 is. Come on, Tori, pull out
so much
Goodreads.
work, guys.
Tell me what
Authors,
book 1
come
is.
on. Okay. Found the right one. Ooh, the first cover is really cool too.
Oh,
Um,
I'm gonna pop it on the screen for
okay.
people watching
Oh,
the
okay.
video too, yeah,
Cool.
just so they can
Yeah,
see.
I love the font choice on both of these so
Mm,
much. It's clean.
yeah.
It has a little bit of interest in the way that the letters are formed, but it's not too much. And you allow the title of the book to have all of the detail interest and just have super calm,
Mm.
basic underneath and above it. Beautiful.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the font almost reminds me of some classic fantasy cover arts, where it's
Yeah,
very,
modernized. Yeah.
yeah, just modernized,
Hmm.
but it has that kind of vibe to it as well. So, just based on the font, I would know immediately this is fantasy.
Fantasy. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And the flying griffin also helps.
kind of, just a
Kind of.
smidgen.
Yeah, that is very, very cool. Yeah, shockingly, Jeff Brown is a good artist. Who knew?
Shocking. Yeah.
Shocking. I also like one thing about that cover that I think is cool is
Mm,
oftentimes the Jeff Brown covers tend to lean a little bit more towards the warm and the browns and the
the
that
darker
kind of
palettes.
yeah. I
Yeah.
like that this one is got some of that like blue vibe to it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. That was a lot of book covers.
It was a lot of book covers. I'm very curious to see what everybody in the comments,
Mhm.
like what all of their comments about each of the covers is going to be, and like what everybody's favorite out of all the ones that we
Yes.
showed.
For everyone who's watching, I hope you enjoyed our reactions and our thoughts on these book covers. We would love to hear what you think of all of these covers as well, and which one was your favorite and or least favorite. So leave all those comments below. If you are not already subscribed to Tori, please go do that. Go subscribe to Tori's channel. Check out her videos. She has some pretty cool stuff up there as well. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves.